Welcome to BTS versus Australian media, or the Australian media. BTS are a K-pop band, a very popular one at that, and the Australian media in question are a TV show called 20 to 1 and an Australian comedian called Alex Williamson. And we're going to just be talking about why BTS people, stands, whatever you want to call them, were up in arms. There's a Twitter account called BTS Australia, and they had a thread about the segment by 20 to 1, and I'm going to just read through it. It says, Dear 20 to 1, tonight on your program you featured the Korean boy band BTS. In your countdown, many Australian Army is the collective name for fans of BTS, anticipated it at first, only to be extremely disappointed by your report. Odd. People not allowed to have opinions now? You described us as crazy fans, purposely chose to show clips of BTS voices cracking. Cut down a significant clip of leader Kim Namjoon speaking at the United Nations to use against us, which is interesting considering it's called 20 to 1. There's 20 things they need to count down. It's a 60-minute program, meaning without ads, they would show potentially 3 minutes per thing they're counting down. And to offer that full context of that United Nations speech, even without ads, I don't think would even be possible. I haven't seen the speech, so I can't say for sure, but it just seems unrealistic. And many of your interviewers spoke with prejudice against them. I mean, the host didn't even know who they were. This is unacceptable. You aired this information about BTS to the public, although none of it was true nor accurate. So I'm guessing they aren't a boy band. I'm guessing the amount of number ones that they've had in a country, or the amount of countries they've had number ones in, isn't true. I'm guessing where they come from isn't true, and I'm also guessing that also means that they didn't actually speak at the UN, because that's what you're saying. You're saying that none of it was true. You're saying you add information about BTS to the public, which the program is public, although none of it was true nor accurate. So, what are you talking about? Now, I just want to say that I actually made a video, I think earlier this year or last year or something, and I actually reacted to BTS because I had never heard them and I enjoyed their music, and I have no prejudice against them or anything. I think that they're very talented. You also blatantly spoke about how only one member can speak English, which is extremely disrespectful, as all other 6 members try just as hard to communicate with their international fan base. Now, I don't know if this is true, if only one of them can actually speak English, but even if they try hard to communicate with their international fan base, if they can't speak English, they can't speak English. And this program also doesn't say that BTS don't try to communicate with their international fan base. Like, you're just trying to take things the wrong way, it seems. This was not right to air on your show, and we demand an apology on behalf of the Australian Army and armies around the world. This is unfair and presenting inaccurate information. You disregarded their achievements. Really? Then what's this?
They're the first Korean act to have a #1 in America. BTS have over 5 billion YouTube views and #1 hits in 73 countries.
They were the most tweeted about celebs for the last 2 years running, and they even spoke at the UN.
And instead, let your xenophobic, racist mindsets be biased instead. We want an apology. Thank you. The racist thing is most likely in regards to this comment by Jimmy Carr.
When I first heard something Korean had exploded in America, I got worried. So I guess could have been worse. But not much worse.
I can see why it could be taken as racist, and I can see why it shouldn't have been aired, potentially, but it's a joke. And no, jokes don't excuse racism. They then go on to say, some more things I've been notified about is that the boys were also referred to as gay. Now, two interesting things about this is that this is the part of the segment that they are referring to, which is Perez Hilton, and he does not call the band gay.
I asked if any of them were gay, and just even asking that question upset these fans so much.
And this also implies that this person who is writing this, who is so upset, hasn't even seen the freaking segment. And that they reported the United Nations speech was about hair products. It was a joke, and this is what it was.
And they even spoke at the UN.
What about?
I'm going to say hair products.
I've never been more disgusted. At 20 to 1, this is unacceptable. And then the next thing is, to anyone wondering what was said tonight about BTS, here is a small snippet. So, you're not even offering the full context. Like, what is the point? I get that you're upset about what they said, and I agree that some of the things they said probably shouldn't have been said. But if you're going to form an argument, have all the facts in front of you first. And then they say this act of what they said can be considered as extreme defamation and spreading of false information. If you wish, you can report to Big Hit here. Like, really though? Seriously? And then they go on to post the full report, which was given on BTS tonight. And I watched that before making this video. And then they go on to list all the people who gave interviews, even if they weren't being racist, as they say, or xenophobic, or anything like that. They're just like, here's everyone, and then they tag them all. And then they post about how you can bloody report it to, like, is it Channel 9 or the Australian Commission for TV or something like that? It just says, Aussie Army, here's how to formally lodge a complaint about the latest utterly xenophobic, homophobic and discriminatory 20 to 1 / Show 9 segment. So that's the 20 to 1 bit. There was also some comments made by Alex Williamson, which also led to the hashtag Fire Alex Williamson, which is a bit ironic considering he's self-employed, but he did say some things, and there were some tweets dug up which are just purely disgraceful, and I'm not going to sit here and say that they were okay, although they weren't towards BTS, they were towards females, and although they were jokes, they weren't acceptable. But yeah, I'm not going to go into the whole Alex Williamson thing, because that's a whole nother can of worms that you can look into if you want. But yeah, thanks for watching. This has been BTS versus Australian media. If you have any opinions, which if you're part of the army, or army, I don't know if it's the army or just army, I'm sure you'll let me know in the comment section below.